guys, hope you're all having a good day or night, whatever time it is. Hope you're all having a good one. Today, this video is going to be on just me and my friend having a little NASCAR playlist. Just some quick oval tracks and a roval at the end. First race, we're at Chiliad Chase, a track made by me. Pretty simple track overall, but the racing is rather good here, as there are multiple lines through the corners. I'm racing with my friend Miller today. And throughout the whole playlist, we are going to be racing in the PW Dominator, aka the Racing Dominator. This race, we are not having a mandatory pit stop, although you will see mandatory pit stops later on. Looks like Miller just crashed in the background. Looks like Miller got a run. Looks to the inside. No, not quite. Uh-oh, I'm making a little bit of a mistake on exit. Miller's got to run. Where is he? No, nowhere to be found. Back down the straight. Miller's in the inside, looking for it. I leave him space just in case, make a little bit of a mistake. Miller's here. Knock, knock, open up. Looks like he made a bit of a mistake too, though. This rain's really starting to get to me. You can see I'm just sliding it through every single corner. It's pretty interesting, honestly. NASCARs don't usually race in the rain. And in case you guys are curious, the reason we're not running hot rings is because we generally enjoy these cars to drive. As Miller goes right up the inside. I get the cutback though. That's what's so good about this track, is there's so many different lines you can run into the corner. Miller has the confidence now. Throws it up the inside again. A little bit of tandem drift. Miller's still looking at the inside. I give him a little bit of space. I run wide, run outside, run high. And then I get the run into the next corner. I look to the outside. Can I make it work around the outside? Come on. Out of the corner. This time I'm looking at the inside. Miller goes to block it off. Looks like I got it for now. Although I get a little bit of slide, Miller's back up the inside. Looks like Miller got that battle. Draft. Run high. Trying to get the better run on the outside. Clip the wall a little bit. That's not going to help. Outside. About mid-track. Cut in. Back outside. Seeing Miller making a little bit of a mistake, and I'm just like licking my lips. I'm like, come on, let's go. As I dive up the inside. Out of the corner. Oh, get a little bit sideways. Basically, just kicked Miller with the tail end of my car there. Miller's up the inside. I hold her on the outside. I get a better run. To the finish. Got it. Just. So you can see I had the faster lap there. Very close, though. And with that, it is a 15-12, my advantage. 3 points ahead going into race 2, which is a very interesting track. Next race is Fly US Speedway, and it is a street oval. So, if you guys have ever played GTA, there's around the airport, there's a little like brickyard oval-like thing. So yeah, it's basically a street circuit, but an oval, which is rather interesting. It's really tight, but surprisingly fast. As you can see, I got a bit of a jump there on Miller. Going through the bushes, careful not to spin out on them. It's a bit tricky. Then around the corner, don't put it into the pit lane on the right there. Miller's got the inside for turn 1. Hold it around the outside. Miller still got the inside. Still got it. I held it. Miller got a little bit of slide there. I dive at the inside of the bushes, not spin out on them, but I overshoot the corner a little bit. Miller's up my inside, and Miller goes for the pit lane. So this race, we are running a mandatory pit stop. Here we are, lap 3 of 10, and at this point I'm just putting my head down, focusing, getting some clean laps, hoping I can go fast. Into the bushes a little bit, caused me to understeer, hit the bush, not gone well, and then back out onto the front straight. And as you can see, this lap is very short, around 20 seconds if you do it right. Still very, very tricky though. These first 2 turns are very similar, and then this bush turn is very, very different to all of them. I wish it was like the first 2 and the last one, but I just couldn't make it to be. And here I go into the pit lane. Now here, you got to be careful not to miss the checkpoint, as I can't place double wide start finish lines, and as you can see, I'm not paying attention and I missed the checkpoint. I'm like, dang it, dude. So I shove it in reverse, and then Miller's like, I feel bad for you. So then he slows down so that we can keep having a good race, which thanks to Miller for that one, but it's also because there's only 2 people. If there's more people, I'm sure that we would just keep going. Coming out of the pit lane, again, Miller's being a good friend, just waiting up on me. Again, I wish I could put a double wide start finish, but I couldn't. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but this track is made by me. And I let Miller pass. Miller hits the inside, hits me, and I'm like, alright, we're going now. Let's go. So, we pretty much came out of the pits right where we left off. Miller's still looking for a way past. Right on my bumper. He's literally pushing me to that corner. Oh, a little bit of contact on exit. That's a little bit sketchy on such a tight track. Miller throws it in deep. Looks like he got it. Both hit the bush on the outside. I run wide under the awning a little bit. Get that little bit of a better line. Hit the curb on the inside. Just put your front wheels on it. Sometimes your rear too. Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit sick today. There we go, chasing Miller. Miller bins it in the pit lane, almost. A little bit of lag there. Now I got the inside. That's all the advantage I needed. Miller's still holding it around the outside. Impressive job in getting that one done. Miller's hit the bushes. I tap him, tap him, tap him, tap him. A little bit of contact. That's more than a little bit, actually. Miller still has the run around the outside. Lap 9 of 10 now. 2 laps to go. And that's, in this race, that's about 40 seconds. I'm in the wall. Miller's pushing me. Looks like Miller damaged his front right, though. Does not have the handling, as that's evident. Puts me in the wall a little bit. And I just keep going, because that was not really my fault, so I just kept going, especially since it's within the last 2 laps. On to the last lap now. Miller's still hoping he can catch me up. Car's a little bit damaged, and at this moment I'm just trying not to make a mistake. Miller catches me a lot in this last lap, but I'm just taking it cautious because I don't want to put it in the wall. There we go, another win. 2 in a row, let's get it. Yeah, as you can see there, Miller got the fastest lap, like a 19.5, which is very, very fast. And with that, it's 6 points advantage to me. Next up, we are onto Maze Bank Arena. This track, I'll admit it, it kind of sucks. I need to do some edits to it. You can miss a couple of the checkpoints, and as you can see here, we're doing a rolling start after 3 minutes because it was just not clean enough to, yeah. So here we go, lap 8 of 12. Get going. This track's very, very fast. You can hold the entire lap flat out, and the entire lap is about 10 seconds. Now here, that last corner, you have to run a little bit higher because you can miss the checkpoint, but that will be fixed in the future. But, yeah, as you can see there, get a little bit of a slide. Miller's catching me up. Lap 10 of 12, 2 to go. Miller gives me a little bit of a tap. Almost got me. Here we go. Lap 11 of 12. I slide wide. Put it in the wall. Yeah, that did not go so well. And that's none of Miller's fault. That was 100% my fault. And with that, nothing happened the rest of the race, so I just skipped it forward. And yeah, as you can see there, Miller had the fastest lap of a 9.9, which is very, very fast. Still have the championship lead. Next 2 races are must win. Again, here we go. Starting a little bit later, around the 3:40 mark. This is not my track. I believe this is made by a guy called Invader R47. This is in Ponte Raceway. Good track. Go check it out. I give Miller a bit of a tap, a little bit of lag bump. So I'm like, sorry, Miller. Let him back past. Because that's just the kind of racing we do here. We're not like actual NASCAR. We don't just allow people to bump each other out of the way. Cough, cough, Austin Dillon. Or Ty Dillon. It was a Dillon last year, Daytona. On Eric Almirola. Anyways, back to the racing. You can see there, Miller put me in the wall a little bit, waited up for me. I'm trying to hold it all the way around the outside. It's another great thing about this oval is there's somewhat multiple lines. Miller goes for the pit lane. So at this point, I'm like, all right, just put in some good laps. Hopefully with that, I'll be able to pass Miller in the pit lane. So I focus on hunkering down, getting some good laps. So as you can see there, there's just that perfect little road down below. You can see that we're about equal across that, so you can tell that if I'm getting ahead, Miller will be a bit behind that line, and if Miller's getting ahead of me, when I'm crossing it, he'll be a bit in front of the line. So it's a good reference point for this track. I'm not sure if it's intentional, but I like it. As you can see, we're pretty much dead even here. I'm looking at that line. I'm like, come on, am I getting ahead? Looks like Miller might be getting ahead just a little bit now. So I'm like, all right, come on, come on. Looks like Miller made a mistake that lap. I'm catching him now. Not sure who's actually got the lead now. Like, effective lead, not actual lead. In case you guys didn't notice, this race is a 3-in-1 lap. So 3 in-game laps is 1 counted lap. Just so, because there's a minimum lap distance of 0.62 miles, and there's no way to exploit that with this track. At this point, I see Miller made a big mistake. I'm catching him. So I'm thinking, alright, pit lane soon. It's like a couple laps to go. I know the pit lane's about 7 seconds, so I'll come out like 0.4 of a second ahead of Miller if I don't make any more mistakes. On to lap 6 to 7. Technically still 6 to go, but the game counts it as lap 6 of 7. So I'm like, alright, come into the pits. Here we go. I can see Miller. He's catching me. I think I might have him. Made a little bit of a mistake. Coming out of the pit lane. Miller's got me just. Coming out. I stay on the apron. Get a little bit of a curb boost coming up on. Getting it to the line. Still got a couple laps to go. I know I got about like 4 laps left. So at this point I'm like, alright, gotta make the move. Catching up on Miller. Drafting him. Still trying to catch Miller. Still catching him. Miller made a big mistake. I'm up the inside. Miller tries to block it off. Not gonna work that well for there, buddy. But I made a big mistake. Miller comes shooting around the outside. Again, this is a beautiful track, and remember, if you want to go follow the guy who made this track on YouTube, it's Goliath Gaming 47, I believe. But anyways, back to the race. Catching him, coming to the line, not quite. So with that, I got another second, and with that, we're tied in points coming into the last race. So it's go big or go home. And this is the Roval. Sorry, I do not remember who made this track. It was not me. But it's absolutely fantastic track. So it's based off of the Charlotte Roval, obviously. So this is one of our favorite tracks to run. The curbing on this track is fantastic. It's pretty fun, honestly. Coming up onto the bank again. Coming through the final chicane and into the infield. So the infield is where it differs from Charlotte quite a bit. It's a lot more involved in this track than compared to Charlotte. So around the right side, track's a little bit undefined around here just because you just got to go around these curves pretty much. Around here though, there's some nice blue lines and cones to follow. Get a good run through here. Just look for the cones, stay to the inside, back onto the right. Onto the hairpin for the left. I try to get the run on Miller. Miller goes up on the bank earlier than me. I cut down, get that little curb boost. Miller gets a curb boost too. And as you can see, that curb boost really helped out Miller. Miller's gone. Here we go, into the bus stop for the first time. A little bit of interesting for a first corner, but it's pretty good, personally. This track I love. Again, coming into the final chicane. Miller gets a little bit of a slide. I'm basically licking my lips here. I'm just like, come on, Miller, make one more mistake and I got you, buddy. Come on, you can do it. And then into the double rights. Me and Miller run very different lines through here. He usually goes a bit faster in. I'm usually a bit faster out. All in all, it equals pretty well. I'm right on Miller's bumper here. My car isn't even getting any air at this point. It's just getting exhaust fumes. Into the hairpin. Looks like Miller went a bit defensive. I get a bit better of a run. Miller cuts back in, almost takes my nose off. I kind of freak out a little bit, get a bit of a slide, and I'm not able to get it. Miller hits the concrete. That was a big wreck for Miller. Uh-oh, that's not gone well. Not even sure what happened there. It looked like he might have just cut it a bit too soon, and then GTA physics happened, and he flipped up into the air. And then there I go, throwing a Molotov at my car so I can repair it, because in GTA it's stupid, and you have to damage your car with a weapon to be able to repair it, even if you damaged it by like crashing it into a wall. So here I'm like, all right, I'm looking for Miller. I took a pit lane, one mandatory pit stop here, so I'm not just being stupid and going for a pit stop for fun. One mandatory pit stop, and I knew that when I saw Miller wreck, I was like, all right, here's my time, gotta go now. I was hoping that I could get back out in front of him without the pit stop, or with the pit stop, I could get back out in front of him. But I wasn't too bothered at this point. At this point, I knew that I just had to be safe, and I just had to not do anything dumb. I had to not basically do what Miller did, and not wreck, not miss a checkpoint, nothing like that. There I go. I'm picking up on that little curb boost line. I get the curb boost way on the inside there. Coming into the bus stop. Miller gets it good this time. Back out onto the oval, and this track, you can do the pit stop whenever you want, so you can do it first lap, last lap, it doesn't really matter, which is nice, but a little bit unrealistic, as the pit lane is like halfway around the track compared to the start-finish, but whatever, it's a bit nitpicky. It's where it should be in real life, but the start-finish line isn't, but that's not a big deal. Anyways, back to the racing. I'm just checking the time there. I know that the pit stop is about like 7 to 9 seconds, depending on the car. Sometimes 11 if you're driving like a really slow accelerating car, like a Prairie or something. Here I can tell that I'm catching Miller, and I'm like, at this point I was like, alright Jack, stop. You don't need to catch him, you just need to keep close enough that when he goes for a pit stop, that he won't pass you. So then I just started being a bit more smart, conserving my car a little bit, not trying to go for outright lap time. And as weird as that sounds, sometimes you just got to be smart in racing rather than fast. Because sometimes being fast is not all you need. Here at this moment, I didn't really need to be fast. I just needed to be smart. I needed to be decently quick, but I didn't need to be out and out really fast to be able to get this win. As you see, though, still taking risks, jumping up over the curb. But again, checking the time. I got plenty of time. Close enough to Miller. Miller's going to have to gap me like 5 to 7. 5 if he's lucky, because these pit stops are around 7 to 9, depending on how good of a run you get into the pit lane. So I knew that I just had to keep within 5 seconds of Miller to get the win. So I was just conserving my car, going slow. As you can see, Miller's just pulling way ahead, but I wasn't too bothered. I was just focusing on the end goal rather than passing Miller at this moment. So as you can see, he gained like 4 tenths in that last couple, like that last sector. But coming on to the last lap, I knew that he had to take his pit stop this lap, otherwise he would get a penalty and he would not get first anyways. So I knew at this point that he either comes into the pits or I get guaranteed first. As you can see, he comes into the pits, coming through the little wiggle. I don't know what else to call it. It's kind of a chicane, kind of not. So I'm going to call it a little wiggle. Coming through the real life turn 1. As you can see, Miller's still in the pit lane. I come out way, way, way ahead. And at this point, I was like, alright, don't wreck it. Just go slow. Be safe. That's all that you really need to do right now. So that's exactly what I did. I just took it cautious. Still not driving the best though. Made a little bit of a mistake there. Coming around the big right sweeper, trying out a different line, cutting back right. I like that line. I think I might use it in the future. You can see Miller's still catching me quite a bit back there. It's down to 4 seconds, and it was 7 seconds when he came out of the pit lane. But that's not going to matter. Cross the line, and I take the championship for this little NASCAR type playlist. As you can see, that was a pretty fun races. Let me know down below what your favorite track was and how I can improve. But as always, I will catch you guys later. Peace out.